Folks, hello and welcome to Dungeons, Dragons, and Discourse.
Are we demonetized yet?
We're working on it.
Okay.
We are live.
Welcome to the shit show. How's that?
Damn! Dropping the S bombs right away and from Glen.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's getting to the point where I don't do any, and now it's gotten to the point of one a show.
RPG Grandma, welcome to the show.
Hello. This is Mr. Tenkar.
Your bartender, Neothar, and with me is none other than Glen Oldman Grognod.
With a co-star. I had to get creative in my new place to put this microphone and arm up. Let me show you. Look at this. The arm is on a bookcase filled with my movies.
Well, the movies are a given, but yes, that's pretty good.
But, I'm still not really satisfied with where it is. So, anyway. But that's what I got going right now. Still setting the room up.
Very nice to see Glenn. He does professional appearance there with the whole mic and an arm and all that stuff.
Yeah, right. Coming to you live from Chickasha, Oklahoma. Chickasha. You never guess. Oh, I think it was the high school. We're near a college,
right?
Oklahoma College of Science and Arts or something like that. I don't think it's their team. I think it's a high school team, but the Chickasha Chickens.
The Chickasha Chickens.
Yeah.
Not even the Roosters.
Yeah. I just saw a sign on the Goodwill, the electronic side. It said, "Go Chicks."
Not even the Fighting Cocks. It could be the Fighting Cocks. No.
Well, yeah, you throw those in with the Penosaurus.
The Penosaurus. He said Penosaurus.
Hiya, Doc. Have you written that game yet?
No, I actually never even made it to the schedule. I had so.
Oh, I'm looking forward to playing in it.
All right, I might have to write up a Penosaurus game real quick.
Just put it up on the board, and
Can I? Excuse me, sir. Can I play in the Penosaurus? Yeah, because it probably would not have made it past the I don't know, not the quality editors, the Penosaurus. Hold on a second. We can't put a Penosaurus game up on the internet, but we can put it on the board. It's a pickup game. Pick up your Penosaurus right here.
Prostitutes versus Penosauruses.
Well, you gotta have horse. There's got to be horse. All we really need is horse. Oh, never mind. I'm a little strong, folks.
I will stop eating my dinner, which is mozzarella sticks for some reason.
Ooh, as opposed to like bacon when Mike was at fucking Gary Con, and Mike's like, "Oh, they made me bacon." I'm like, "Dude, you can't eat bacon."
Arby's. Yeah. The guy who put in the local internet provider who came by to, turn everything on and put everything in. Uh-huh. He says, "Yeah, Chickasha is getting to be a large town. We got a Chick-fil-A now." It's like, congratulations.
Now, when you've moved it up to the big times, you've got Chick-fil-A. Oh, folks, by the way, just to throw this out there is on the bottom of the screen a discount code for Page Philadelphia Area Game Expo #2. The next January. It's held in Philly. That's why it's the Philly Area Game Expo. January 16th through the 19th. I'm about to belch. It has nothing to. I'm going to belch for all the food that Glenn is eating right now. I'm going to be belching. If you use,
I cannot belch, so belch for me.
There you go. If you use code Tenkars Tavern between now and I believe the middle of the month, you'll save $10 on a gold badge or a regular badge. The difference between the gold badge and regular badge is gold badge covers Thursday evening and some tchotchkes, and I think dinner with the special guests, and the regular badge is Friday through Sunday.
And the platinum badge, you get hookers and blow.
They're all sold out, though, folks. You can't, and there's no discount if there was, but they're all sold out.
Yep.
all those platinum booby badges are all done. But
what's weird about this town I'm in is I know there's a lot of things that aren't here, but the usual stuff, McDonald's, Walmart, but no 7-Elevens anywhere.
Oh no, that's a sin.
That's weird.
Do you have like a Wawa or something else that takes place?
We don't even have like a Circle K or anything like that. We got a Casey's. That's about it.
Dude. Sorry.
Hey, you got to rough it, That's all right. I'm going to the con. Don't worry.
The con, when we talk about the con, we're talking about North Texas, which is just over a month away.
That's right.
Yeah. No 7-Elevens. Is that?
That's right. Yeah. And I got a graduation to go to too this month.
Who's graduating?
Youngest grandson graduating from Votech. He's going to be an electrician.
Oh, good job.
Yes, Tammy, my dear, my love. Yes, I did move. This is my new digs. Still getting set up.
It is a nice.
Ouch, new office chair. Ooh.
Is that wait? Is that a double recliner couch over there with like?
Actually, it's a triple. It's a triple because the middle part can fold down. You've got what do you got? Cup holders on there and some USB and regular plugs. So the grandkids are going to love it. They can plug in their tablets or whatever.
It's going to be movie night at the Holstrom house. Oh, my God.
You bet. 70-inch TV, you bet.
Oh.
In fact, Becky says for the living room, she's going to get another big TV. So I can have this.
Ooh.
It's HD 4K, all that kind of stuff with a Blu-ray player. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. And yes, I've got the D&D movie on 4K, Honor Among Thieves.
I haven't seen since I saw it in the theater. Actually, I haven't gone back to the theater since I saw Honor Among Thieves, and that was over a year ago. Holy crap.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm still in Oklahoma, about 40 minutes away from OKC. South. I think south. Yeah, no. More like southeast. Yeah.
Tammy, for the last year, we've had all the graduations, bachelor's, master's, high school. North Texas Con will have to wait. Next year, we don't have any graduates.
Oh, dear. One down.
That's
it happens.
North Texas. Well, wait, listen, Bill Webb actually had to miss North Texas because his son was graduating high school.
That's right.
Bill never misses North Texas. But family comes first.
Family comes first. I think he'll be here this year, won't he?
Yes, Bill should be back.
He got another kid to graduate.
Actually, Bill was at TotalCon. I was happy to see Bill. Yeah, TotalCon.
Whoa.
It was nice to catch up with Bill Webb. So
yeah, I'd love to catch up with him.
So
there was a joke. There was a joke there somewhere. I couldn't.
It's
Yeah, I know. I understand. So what's new in gaming these days? Besides, that way we don't have to talk about man or bear.
Oh my God, Glenn, you had to bring up the man or bear.
Well, see, in my scenario, man is a little safer because to me the bear is Yogi.
Hey, boo boo.
What are you running around here for?
Is that a picnic basket in your hand, or you just happy to see me?
I don't think the ranger will like that, Yogi.
Yeah.
Mr. Ranger, sir.
Now, Yogi, you get yourself back to your cave right now.
Anyway.
Well, I mean, listen, man is by definition more predictable. All right. But my listen, that meme has been going on now for like a week and a half on Facebook and social media. And if all you did was went from changing it from gender to a racial stereotype, you'd have everybody up in arms.
True.
It's all you'd have to do. And once that happens, once you can do something as simple as that, the whole thing falls apart.
Becky just walked in and put something there. I was like, what?
It's the magic ghost, man. It's just like it's a blanket. It's a blanket.
Yeah, you change it to a race, and then everybody's up in arms.
Right.
Unless it's white.
Well,
that's about as political as I want to get right now.
We're going to get slammed by people for even touching anywhere near it, even though it was included in gaming groups. I mean, I actually saw things popping up in RPG groups, and it's just like
point at the teddy bear where the man touched you.
Right here in my heart. Yes, Tom. Each year we try to plan for North Texas RPG Con, and these pesky kids keep scheduling a graduation in the middle of it. Wow. Oh, Tammy. As of today, we bought a 2024 Subaru Forester. So driving the con. Don't ask Tom about his 1996 Chevy truck, please. Laugh out loud.
Subaru, and
I love him.
I've got to ask you this, Eric.
Yes.
And it's not me asking. It's Jason asking. You coming to Duff's with us this year?
Where?
Duff's Barbecue.
Now, is this like a trick question?
Not really. It's just, I don't know. You as a New Yorker, not having barbecue, you take it better than Jason does. Because he has to have barbecue when he goes to Texas.
Well, we're gonna have a barbecue truck at North.
I know, but he'll still want to go out. Because I'll buy you whatever you want as long as you drive. I'd be driving anyway.
Yeah, I'm happy. Listen, I'm happy to go. Rach enjoys it, but she doesn't freak out about it. I mean, I like it. I actually I think the best.
I told him, don't worry, I'll find something to eat because I've been barbecued out a long time ago.
I got you.
And with my health and my stomach problems, it's just I'd be wasting his money if he bought me anything.
Well, last year, I guess on Sunday we went with Joe Block, Rach and I, to get chili in town, and oh my God, I forget the name of the place. It was good.
Love a good bowl of chili.
So holy shit. But Tammy, 2024 Subaru. I have a 20. Rachel and I have a 2020. Oh, I want to say 21. 22.
Subaru.
Yeah, I got it. We bought it. Oh my God, just over 2 years ago. So I guess it's a 2022. Yeah, I can't figure out the math for cars anymore, Tammy, because they always. No, it's 2021. We got it at the end of 2021. It was the showroom, so I only had like 18 miles on it, and we got it that September, and we love it. We didn't go to the very, very top of the options tree, but we were one below because. Race needs her heated seats. I need my adjustable seats.
Yeah. I'm driving a 2014 Buick Enclave. It's officially 10 years old this year, and it not only has heated seats, It has cooling seats too.
I don't have goddamn cooling seats, but I do have, and this is very important because it's Rach and I, dual zone control.
Oh yeah, we do too.
The driver's side and the passenger side are different. Now, my parents bought a 2024 Subaru Forester, I think like 2 months ago, and they were like the middle package. We were just like one above the middle package, so they don't have the dual zone. And my mother's upset that she didn't get her dual zone.
Oh,
yeah, and she's like, oh, I didn't get my dual.
I mean, our car has a DVD player in there. We never use it, but we've got a DVD player.
All right. I have a Sirius XM. I like it enough. I actually keep the subscription going because
I can actually listen to that all the way to the con and back this year without Gage saying, "Can I play my metal?" He'll Bluetooth to the car, and next thing
it's like, I don't want the metal when I'm driving.
Well, keep you awake.
Tom is happy to join us for barbecue next year.
Okay.
2023 Kia Sportage X Pro. That's a big screen, sir. Now I got a big screen. Not saying anything. Not saying I got a big screen. You got a bigger screen.
I got a bigger screen?
No, he's got a bigger screen on his car.
His
car has one of those, like, it's like, hey, do you want to play D&D in a touchscreen? Well, feel free. Get your whole party to sit around your touchscreen.
Oh, Lord.
Oh,
boy.
So the joke with Rach, with us getting the car, is that, and we got the same salesman we had 6 years prior, but now he was an assistant manager, and he was great though, because he's showing us the car, and then he's like, and it has the automatic trunks. He presses the button, it opens up, and he goes to Rach, reach up and touch the button and see if you can close it. And sure enough, Rach could just make it, and she could close the trunks. So and then Rach was like, at that point, he knew he made a sale. He knew it. He knew it.
At that point,
a sale was made. They knew it was done. Dun dun dun. Excuse me, folks. It's allergy season here in New York City. I'm going to do something that you should never do on a live stream. There we go.
You just did it.
I know. I just did it. And look at that. We lost.
I can do you one better, but I'm not gonna.
Well, never wipe your ass on a live stream. I was told that by my mother. Wear clean underwear and never wipe your ass on a live stream. I was like, all right, you got a
funny place for your ass.
That wasn't my ass. That wasn't my. That was my nose. That was my nose.
I know. Son of a gun.
Oh my God. So, Tom, I just realized there's a YouTuber who's buying subs for his channel, and his video from a month ago only has 5 views, but there are 14 people watching this live stream right now.
Wow.
Yeah. I actually dug a little bit deeper, and yeah, it's embarrassing. Not for this channel. This channel, I'm happy for was it Slow and Steady wins the race? The tortoise in the hair.
The turtle in the hair.
Yeah, with the turtle.
The ninja turtle in the hair. Yeah.
Yeah, with the ninja turtle. I like that.
Yeah. For the last 2 weeks, Radio Grognard has been down. Well, just because I needed the push. I needed the push to get this done. So probably sometime this weekend I'll be recording another episode or two. I hope for Monday.
Very cool.
And I don't know what the hell I'm going to talk about, but I usually find something to talk about. I asked for last time we were on there. I was asked for ideas for a new YouTube series I want to do, and I got nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah. I was going to describe NPCs, and I was going to call it Old Man Grognard's NPCs. You know, a typical this, a typical that, something unique. If you have an idea, unique a character or something, you know, I haven't laid down the ground rules yet, but, you know, basically I'm just looking for ideas right now.
Okay.
And I'm going to do the, remember the 7-sentence NPC from Dragon?
Vaguely.
I'm going to be using that. I'm going to try and use it anyway. It's going to be light on stats, heavy on personality.
Well, it's an NPC. It should be, personally, in my opinion. And if you're tuning in, you're listening. You're here for the opinions, right? You're not here for Glenn and I to throw out statistics at you. If you want,
what we do anyway.
Occasionally, we back up. If we're gonna pontificate, we'll back it up. But you want our opinions, and if I am throwing out a non-player character, and I'm stressing non-player character as I go back to NPC, because it's going to be some fuckhead, probably nobody watching the live stream at the moment, but there'll be some fuckhead going, you know, NPC is a politically weighted word, and I'm going to go and look at them and going to smack them with the back of my fucking hand and say context means everything. We're talking about non-player characters in an RPG. We're not talking about your politically weighted world. Yeah. Oh, word. But it is a politically weighted world for some people. But if I'm introducing a non-player character, I don't want them going, oh man, I remember Billy Bob Johnson. Billy Bob Johnson had 18-0 strength and a 17 con. I want to go, Billy Bob Johnson was built like a brick shithouse and could outdrink any other mother effer in the bar. And I remember when he said, that's what you want your party to remember. You don't want your party to be stuck on stats. You want your party to be focused on, I'm going to say another bit, fluff. Looking at the fluff, not the stats.
Well, you know, I'm of the opinion on NPCs that this is not their only job, but their major job is to pass along info to the player characters or exposition. But there are other things they do too. And making them memorable can go a long way with the player characters, with the players.
Yeah.
So it's going to be something like, if there's going to be stats, it's going to be very, very, I'm not talking, if I say the armor class, they're tough. Hit points, they got average, you know, that kind of thing. And if I want to do a 6-stat thing, I'll just do what I usually do for monsters and other NPCs. I pick their most prominent stat and give you the number for that, or 2 stats. Everything else is average. I do that in Gangbusters. I do that in D&D.
Yeah.
So I go, okay, he has a 16 strength. This character has a 14 comeliness, you know, or charisma, rather. Sorry. Get a champion's head again.
Well, no, comeliness was added in with Unearthed Arcana, and we tried to forget it immediately, but it was there.
But everything else is average, and I say my average is 10. The normal person has 10 in every stat. The normal Joe Schmuck in the village. Well,
statistically, they should all have an average of 10.5. I'm just saying, Glenn, because I'm the stat nerd, and I'm telling you the average stat is 3d6 rolled in order, and it's 10.5. But if you roll 46 and you drop 1, then it becomes like 12 or some shit like that. But I don't.
That's nice.
There's some asshole that's going to pop in the after chat and start rolling out the numbers. Well, Glenn, technically,
well, technically the average should be 9 because you roll 3 to 18.
Yeah,
More or less. I just say 10. It's easy. It's easier. And I always like to pick the stat where they get neither bonuses nor penalties, just 0. And that's 10 pretty much. 10 to 12, something like that.
RPG Grandma, there will be no tasering in this room. Okay.
And
just clearing that up right now.
Putting average stats out there and picking the 1 or 2 stats that are exceptional, that can go -2. It says he only has a 5 intelligence, and they leave it at that.
You can't. You're going to get to the. By the way, folks, Glenn is traveling in dangerous waters because we are going to get to the point where you can't have low stats in games because it's going to offend certain people. You're
on the verge of making me cuss again. So.
Oh my effing God! And look at that, Glenn. I've been censoring myself. But and listen, this is coming from the guy who wrote Swords and Wizardry Light, and with Swords and Wizardry Light, there are no consequences for a low stat. And I've had people ask me, why are there no consequences for a low stat? And my answer, quite simply, was I had 4 pages to work with.
I do.
2 pages facing the players. I didn't have enough room to start talking about
pluses or minuses.
I was just like, just the pluses. It's enough. It's what works. But it's kind of like goes back to the Eric Cartman line from South Park from 2 decades ago. I'm not fat. I'm big boned. It's redefining. Yeah. Listen, am I fat? I certainly carry around more extra weight than I need to. I can certainly say that.
Well, Lisa played little stats.
Lisa say no, just right.
Lisa say my game, my rules. And you know what? That's where I stand. That's fine and dandy, but it's my friggin' game. You playing or not?
Well, gee, Glenn, if you put it to me that way, I guess I am.
You want me to get all neckbeard on you? Or all grognard on you?
Wait, hold on a second. Wait. I'm looking at the fucking screen right now. This is making me curse. It says old man grognard. And you're telling me you're going to get old grognard on me?
I can get even more grognard than I am. I'm talented.
You're multi-talented. You're like the jack of all trades, master of a couple. I mean,
that's me. Come play my Game Busters game at North Texas and find out how awesome I am.
Glenn, Glenn is awesome. From our own place,
I'm also humble.
Glenn is as humble pie, which I've never had, because I think it's a real dish somewhere down south, but I've never I've never had it. No, I never. And by the way, folks, I'm going to mention something that I haven't even read yet, so we're probably not going to discuss it deeply. But The Guardian, of all places, had an article on D&D.
That you should read like Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jar? Hold on a second. I'm not going to... where is it? Hold on. Hold on a second. Maybe I don't know if I can be like Jar Jar Binks. I don't know.
How about Jabba the Hutt?
But the title of the article, which is "Stop Trying to Turn Dungeons and Dragons into a Marvel-esque Cash Cow. It won't work.
It hasn't worked for 50 years. It won't work now. Otherwise, a lot more people will be making money off of this game.
So I saw that article, and it popped up in my Facebook feed. I think was it Casey Owens or whatever it was talking about it, and I was like, I got to comment on this just so I can find the article for later. But I didn't get a chance to read it. But just the title itself tells me, holy shit! It's obvious to more than just those of us that are solidly in the fandom, solidly in the community, that WotC is lost and floundering. I mean, it's 25th anniversary. Sorry, it's the 50th anniversary of D&D. Glenn, what have they done for the 50th anniversary of D&D? Exactly. Although I do understand that I think
Disney owned them or something.
Yeah, I think that there are going to be some very special miniatures coming out this summer. Very low key announcement, I think, from WizKids.
Collect them all.
Like you can get your Goblin mini set. It's 2 minis. One that looks like the AD&D Monster Manual Goblin. One that's your 5e Goblin.
Collect them all. I really want to collect the real hard, rare to find Eric Tenkar WizKid pre-painted mini.
Oh, it's not a WizKid. It's a New Zealand special, by the way.
Really?
Yes, the Tenkar mini is a New Zealand special.
Wow.
One of the friends of the tavern actually did Tenkar mini. Sent me a painted one. It's on my shelf. Oh, I do see it. Okay,
you mean it's real?
Oh, hold on.
Holy moly!
Hold on. All right, I'm going to turn off the back. That is
mini.
Yeah, hold on.
Oh, okay. I thought they did like an Eric Steiny.
No.
You with a book or something.
No. This is Tenkar.
Well, hey, if Gygax has a mini,
a flask in his hand, a double axe on his back.
Okay.
And and a cask in the other hand because you gotta. And this was professionally painted when it was sent to me. It is gosh darn awesome. So,
hey, the Zadrin says he wants to see a Tenkar Funko Pop. I'd like to see that myself.
Hey, look, the head bounces like a Funko Pop. Oh, ow.
Careful, you're old like me.
That I heard the
Grognard that stole Christmas. Had that hanging.
Oh.
Tomorrow is Christmas. It's practically here.
Get off my lawn.
I've been wanting to do this. I have a script around here that I have printed out of A Christmas Carol that Dickens used to read. It was like an abbreviated 1 hour version. He used to go around to like readings and stuff and read it. I always want to do that in the evening, and then in the afternoon I'll be over in the kids section reading them how the Grinch Stole Christmas. I thought that would be kind of cool.
That's pretty nice. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Not too shabby. But I mean, going back to WotC and the 50th anniversary, I mean, if you were married for 50 years, if you were married for 1 year and you forgot your anniversary, you didn't talk about it, you didn't go, hey, hon, thank you for putting up with me for the last year. It's been a great year. It's been a great 10 years. It's 50th anniversary, and it's like, we got a new edition coming out. You'll get 2/3 of it this year. 1/3 that was going to have to come next year. I'm sorry. I know when you said shit will get off the pot, but I could only do. I got to come back.
You don't have a pot.
If I had a pot to piss in, I'd piss in it, but I don't have a pot to piss in because I'm watching. And by the way, folks, just as an aside, have they announced Cynthia Williams' replacement yet? Because I can't find it anywhere on the internet.
Her daughter. Dickens Women.
Dickens Women by Miriam Margolyes.
Sounds interesting.
You're scaring me, David.
Oh yes.
And I don't think there'd be a Tenkar Funko Pop in a Dickens Women book. Would be interesting.
Would be interesting.
It would be mighty interesting. Did somebody stick a Tenkar Funko Pop in this book? How'd that happen?
Yeah. You'll put it right next on the shelf, right next to your Bad Mike Funko Pop.
Well, now that is the Bad Mike Funko Pop.
That's the Satan, yes.
Yeah, let's say some Bad Mike in a North Texas T-shirt, or is it Bad Mike with the Satan ears and the cape on?
Well, the horns and all that.
Yeah. Oh my God. There we go. That's the Bad Mike. David, it's a CD of monologues by Miriam from the point of view of various women from Charles Dickens' works. It's really good.
Interesting.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting piece of work then. And is it on the Internet Archive? I asked for a friend. I'm just asking for a friend. Not asking personally, asking for a friend. I'd like to know.
Have you ever seen, I don't know why this made me think of this, but you know The Lion King, the original Lion King?
I haven't seen The Lion King since it originally came out, so I'm a bit dated.
And they did a Lion King 2 and blah, blah, blah. But the one I always wanted to see, which I never saw, was The Lion King 1.5. Because basically it's Timon and Pumbaa, what they were going through while the main story, it was basically Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead with Timon and Pumbaa. Well, you're seeing the movie from their eyes, from what they were experiencing.
There was a I didn't know there was a 1.5 or
yeah. I heard it's pretty good.
Is this like an official Disney release, or like
it was like a direct-to-video thing?
Wow! All right, it's new to me. Is it?
Because like Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, you're getting their viewpoint of Hamlet while that's going on in front of them.
Okay, I got you now. Interesting. Wait, a live action Simba movie?
Don't they have one already?
I mean,
unless we're talking about Simba the White Lion.
Wasn't that so? Yeah, well, that would be so. Yeah, that's the kid, right? That's the
yeah, that was the anime. The anime White Lion kid.
Yeah, I mean, again, I saw stuff like that when my son was young. It's like, oh, okay, we gotta take you to this. Hey, there's a Winnie the Pooh movie. Let's take. The Winnie the Pooh movie. That was an excuse for me to go see the Winnie the Pooh movie, but neither here nor there. I love Winnie the Pooh. Mm-hmm. As an adult, you can't go to a Winnie the Pooh movie by yourself because they're going to expect you to be sitting in a corner. I don't know, doing some unclean stuff. That's all I will say. But no, I mean that and Shrek. That's all stuff that you saw because you had your kids with you. I mean, I guess now, I mean, I can watch the stuff on direct-to-video, so on streaming when it goes to streaming. Then I don't have to be embarrassed. Like, hey, why is this 56-year-old man here watching Winnie the Pooh by himself? What is he really here for?
I say my standard answer. None of your business.
None of your business, and get your hand out of my popcorn.
Ooh.
Oh, hey, oh.
This one's eating my popcorn. That's actually the punchline to a dirty joke. So
there you go. Marty Hobbs. No, he goes, sorry, I meant his dad. Okay, so it's a Mufasa. It's a live action Mufasa movie. See, I don't remember the names of the characters from The Lion King, and it's not because it didn't interest me, but it didn't interest me. I wasn't like a kid getting into the movie. I was the parent there because my kid's getting into the movie. And if I had a cell phone at the time, somebody behind me would be telling me, "Excuse me, sir, can you turn down the screen on your cell phone? It's a bit bright and it's distracting as my kids are trying to watch this movie about lions dying and shit." And then I would have been the asshole going, "Oh, thank God that, when this stuff came out, cell phones, weren't like mini computers in your pocket."
So how long have you been playing, Eric? I've been playing for 40 years.
Oh, wait. You want me to do the actual math?
I did the actual math a while ago, about 41. I started in 1981.
All right. I spy with my little eye. I started playing, my first session, I was, I believe, 12 years old. So that would put me in 1979.
Okay.
So we're in
I'm older than
24.
you.
So I guess 40.
I didn't start until I was 23.
Well, I started at 12.
Okay.
And we had to call a lifeline, literally.
That's right. You were telling me.
My friend Kenny was running the game.
He had the book.
He only had the DMG. He didn't have the player's handbook. So afterwards, he calculated the experience points I earned, and then it's like, where do we dial? Call a friend from Ascension parochial school nearby from his class. And it's like, hey, what does a fighter need for second level? 2,000. And Eric, you got 2,140 experience points. So what does he do now? You roll a D10. That's the not the round die, the oblong die, but not the oblong die that you rolled for your longsword damage. The one that you weren't rolling for your longsword damage. Yeah, that one.
Well, the reason I ask is because how long did it take the years you were playing, how long did it take for you to start to see everything as D&D, as in, like, what's the stats of that guy on the TV? What's the stats of that thing over there in the parade? What's the stat, that kind of thing? We start thinking in role-playing terms.
That probably didn't happen until, I'm going to say, about 16, because I got my taste, and then I didn't get my books for another 6 months or so. So, I mean, I was gaining, but I didn't understand the game, so I didn't. And then once I got the books, I didn't fully understand it. Played in the Poconos was my first gaming group, and it was very, formal, informal, and we rotated who GM'd. And I don't think it was until high school, once I got the group in New York, so I would go to school and still be talking D&D with a friend or two, that all of a sudden it became D&D, the obsession. Just like Calvin Klein's beautiful scent of obsession.
That's going to be my official answer with man or bear. Depends on the stats.
There you go. If it's a yogi statted bear, I'll take the man. If it's statted like a grizzly bear with maximum hit points, oh my God, no thank you for the bear either. No, stay away. Yeah,
1980.
Yeah.
He's got a year on.
I'm assuming late 79 because and the Munster Man, so the DMG was out, right? So that kind of tells you how early it could have been. But and by the way, I'm going to age myself. My friend Kenny also had the D&D game for the Intellivision.
Whoa!
Which, I mean, looked if you thought a game of D&D required imagination, I'm telling you right now, D&D on the Intellivision required a hell of a lot of imagination for you to think of this thing as being anything other than a.
Is that like that game, like that game Adventure, where it's a dungeon? You got this little like seahorse. There's supposed to be the dragon.
Well, yeah. Well. I think I think that you look like, a reversed Pac-Man, but it's like you had like an arrow, but it just looked like it's hard to even explain, but man, it was D&D, so it was exciting, right? We're playing D&D. No, you're not playing D&D. I mean, you needed imagination to make Ultima 1 feel like D&D.
Capcom's D&D, Mystara stuff felt like D&D.
Not the Atari's Adventure. Well, I played it on Intel. It's very similar, but the D&D one on Intel was just. Listen, the Atari 2600, you needed imagination to make any of those games look like a game. Centipede? Hey. What the hell is that?
Hey, Pitfall worked.
I had a friend who had it on the what was it, the 5200 or 7800? And that looked more like a video game. Well, first off, I had Pong when I'm in early ages. So, I mean, I really go back to and then I had the Coleco Atom. So I'm going to show you
the Atom? Oh, my God.
I had the Atom. So the Atom was essentially, it wasn't the add-on Atom. Like there was an add-on Atom that plugged into your ColecoVision. You had yes, but you had a Coleco Atom, which was a computer with the ColecoVision built into it. You had to have the printer plugged in because half the computing was built into the printer, and the printer was a daisy wheel printer. So that meant two things. One, it was very readable. It looked like typewritten typeface because it was. Two, it was very fucking slow and noisy because it was clack, clack, clack. And digital audio tape, which I was excited as an 18-year-old or a 17-year-old. We got digital audio tape. Yeah, that format was never used anywhere else. I had the Buck Rogers game that came. Everything else I had was a ColecoVision game.
Actually, my friend used to have a Commodore 64 with the tape drive.
I had a floppy drive. I had a floppy.
Well, yeah, but here's the funny thing is, you know how Commodore had the operating system on the hard drive, right?
Yep.
And my friend swore up and down that he would never put an OS on a hard drive if it was already built in. And he said, that's the way to go. You never have to mess with it. It's always there and da-da-da-da-da. And then like, yeah, okay, fine. IBM don't think that way. You know? And I remember having a Mac Plus with two disk drives in it. One disk, you put the system disk in. So it would run. The second one was whatever you were using it for.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So it's like, well, he thought we were getting ripped off if we have to put it in, you know, the system ourselves. But it's like, dude, how are they ever going to improve it?
Right.
You know? I mean, it's annoying that Microsoft sends these updates all the time. It's annoying, but at least they're trying to make it better.
I mean, I enjoyed my Commodore 64 in its heyday, mostly because I got most of my games for that for free from other friends who copied games for me. The ones I always bought were the gold box games because the gold box games had the flip to page 17, paragraph 4, word 3.
I lived in Silicon Valley for a while, and I almost got a job with SSI, SPI, SSI.
SSI.
Who they were looking for artists who can do like pixel art for their games, and I only went a couple of times and I didn't go back, but it was very hard. They sent me in a cubicle with somebody's cubicle with their computer, and it's like this paint program or whatever. Do this, okay, fine. Meanwhile, in the boardroom next door, they're playing GURPS, and it's like, I can't concentrate on this. I want to play next door.
Wow. Yeah, I enjoyed my 64, but then I got my first IBM PC compatible, a 486 SX33 with a whole 420 megabyte hard drive.
Whoa.
Holy shit, man. It was rocking. And I was able to upgrade the processor with a snap-on processor. Exciting times.
Awesome.
My heart was verklempt. Only cost me like $1,800 back in, my God, 89 probably, which is like probably close to what, $4,000, $5,000 today,
something like that,
for a custom built computer that I was like didn't even come with the CD drive because CD drives weren't even released at that point. Everything was still floppies. The little floppy, not the big floppy. I had to get a smaller floppy. My floppy was too big. But
yeah, I know what you're talking about. I used to use those are the ones I used all the time. And then I got a zip drive. Oh boy.
Oh my God, zip drives 100. Was it 100 megabytes per zip drive or something like that?
Yeah.
And you could buy more drive. You had the main drive, and then you could buy more of these, and you could take them out and put them in, and it was like infinite storage of nothing.
Yep.
We had nothing worthwhile storing, except
I don't know about that.
Pornography. I mean, I gotta. Hey, you were young. That's I mean, these kids these days complain. Do you remember what it was like trying to download pornography in a 1440 baud modem?
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh my God, my connection crapped down about 1/3 of the way through. I got a beautiful smile.
Well, tell you what, change the subject here. Tell everybody about your lawyers, what they did.
Oh, so I had a great law firm, and oh my God, it's been about what, 2.5 weeks now since the judge went. Get out
of my
no case here. There's no case here. Dismissed with prejudice. With prejudice. So some random troll on Wizard Tower Games last live stream was like, oh, just so you know, cases can still be refiled against some crooked cop. No, they can't. Because it was dismissed with prejudice. It means you can't refile. That's the whole point with prejudice. But, again, it's a random troll. So, but my attorneys, because of the bag o' shit that the case was, and they were very apologetic. They're like, you should not be going through this. There's no way anybody should be going through this. What lawyer would take this case when the judge even says, what's the first submission, there's no meat on these bones. What are you giving me? There's no meat on these bones. Put some meat on these bones, and then
refile.
Opposing refiles and says, you know what? I'm going to repeat what I said before, but I'm going to add 10,000.
But he's a bastard.
He said bad things about me and my companies on the internet. In any case, so my attorneys waived my last month's fees. Thank you all. Great guys. And are also giving me a retainer towards any further legal work that I may require. And hey, I'm 56. Maybe I need to put together a will. At least I know I have a law firm that is good. They're solid. They're honest.
Yep.
I am not saying that attorneys in general are not honest. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is I have a law firm that I have a lot of faith and trust in, and they did the right thing throughout the whole case. And I think I've mentioned this before, but I think it bears mentioning again. When I had my first conference with my lead attorney, and I explained the situation that was going on with the lawsuit, and he's like, well, as you described it to me, you have a YouTube channel, you have a blog, you've done he goes, you were an internal affairs investigator / supervisor. I go, yes. He goes, and it seems like some of that is carried over to your online hobby and community. It sounds like you, from what we're gathering, you are an investigative reporter in your hobby, in your corner of the universe. I go, yeah, essentially. Goes, so you're the press. I go, essentially. And what this lawsuit, what the cease and desist and stuff is all asking you for is your confidential information from sources that have supplied you with information relevant to the news stories that you're reporting on. I go, wow, yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. He goes, all right, so just so we're all on the same page. If you think that you are going to be even considering making a deal wherein you give up your sources, you give up your confidential information, that you give up these confidential conversations, we want you to know, I want you to know that we are not the law firm for you. No. Excuse me? He goes, if you are the press, if this is what we're approaching this as, you die with your sources. You die with that confidential information unless they tell you you can release it. And he goes, we're not going to represent you if you are going to literally turn this stuff over. We want to be clear up front where we stand as an organization on this. And I went, yeah, hold on a second. I talked with Rach, and Rach was like, this is the law firm we want. They've got morals. They have a line they will not cross. And that made us very comfortable with them.
It's good. It's good.
So really, really happy.
So basically, Lanasa got basically a get out of my courtroom.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you get the representation that you pay for. That's always been what I've maintained. And the representation from opposing seemed lacking. Now, I gather opposing counsel mostly dealt with criminal cases, and I am sure that they are well versed in criminal cases. They've been essentially on the like the public defender list or whatever they call it for federal cases, for like terrorists and stuff that don't get representation out of their own pocket because they are probably broke. So, I mean, his name appeared on a number of, I don't know, fairly high-profile cases, but that doesn't necessarily convert to a civil case. But I would assume a civil case is where the bread and butter is made. It's where you're where your roll gets the nice big schmear, like the bagel. In a criminal case, your schmear is a. But when you're on a civil case, you can really schmear up that bagel. It becomes an expensive bagel, and there's a lot of schmear on it. Well, I think that somebody saw that they had a client that had a lot of potential cream cheese in their hand for a lot of schmearing, even if the bagel itself was a nothing bagel. So that's a really weird
did not Mr. N get hit with lawyers' fees too? Yours and
no.
Too bad. I would have loved to see that.
I know. Well, here's and listen, and I understand the reason. When this case was initially filed, my lawyer said, "Listen, this is being filed in federal court, and when federal court, state law applies, but it doesn't apply to the procedure. It applies substantially, or something. How they explained it. So, in other words, if this was filed in state court, it never would have gotten anywhere. It would have been dismissed right from the start. The state court looks at it and goes, hey, there's no meat in these bones. Boom, you're done. Federal court doesn't do that. So that's why it was filed in federal court, I believe. And since then, precedent was set over the last 18 months in the Southern District or the Eastern District. Was it the Eastern or the? We were in the Southern District of New York. That it was incompatible to follow New York slap law in federal court. The two laws were not the procedures were not compatible, even substantively. So it would not apply. So, the final tally, for those counting at home, the final tally is around 140K.
Tenkar 1, Manasa 0.
Yeah. And I am very happy to leave it like that.
Does that pretty much make you bulletproof as far as?
Well, I mean, here in theory, I was essentially bulletproof, and here's the reason why I say that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I am not employed. I do not own any property. Okay.
Right.
You cannot garnish my pension for anything but child support. Rachel decided to retire and because she's legally blind, and she said, "All right, you know what? I'll take the disability insurance." That cannot be garnished for civil judgments. So, even if we had lost, the worst that would have happened is, besides pissing away money on the case, the judgment would have been caught up in bankruptcy court and nada. Now, I could hypothesize as to why my mother was added to the case and the first amended complaint. And I'm smiling on this one because my mother at the time was 78, 79. And my lawyers told me one day in late 2022, hey, Erica, we're hearing rumors, we're hearing talk in the court that opposition is going to be adding Rachel to the case. I went, why? And, Rachel's like, she appears on some videos and her voice appears in the background, but whatever. You're not going to get anything out of Rachel yet. You can't get out of me, and you're not going to get anything out of me. So, but when they filed the amended, they served my mother, Lois, aka Rachel. Now, why would you do that? Well, and again, I'm it's hypothesizing. I am not saying this is it, but it's possible that somebody did a search and went, oh, well, look, Lois Stina, the property in New York City is in Lois Stina's name. Let's do Lois, but pretend that she's Rachel, because then we can get the house. Because I do know from conversations that our buddy Vince was having with Lanasa that there was a plot to make me homeless, take my home. Take him home. Tenkar's going to have to pay me rent and take away my pension. And I'm going to throw this out there just as a general notice for folks, by the way. NYPD pension, once attained, cannot be lost. It's always retained. So doesn't matter, I could become, I don't know, the next psychopath. At the very least, it can go into my commissary as it's not going to cease. Okay, so these fantasies and dreams that from people again, like Vince, and the reason why I say like Vince is like. I thought the man was a friend. I thought the man was a good friend, and he proved himself to be a piece of shit. And that's what hurts. If you treat me like shit and we're not friends, or we're not friends yet, that's different, right? But when we have an established relationship, and you pump me for information at North Texas, which Vince did in 2022. And now I know why his wife wouldn't join us for dinner that time. Because Vince was supplying information for the potential lawsuit. Somebody believes that your wife's name is actually Natalie. Who's Natalie? That's my sister. But he doesn't. You didn't really work in internal affairs. You worked somewhere else. No, I really worked in the IEB. I mean, it's not something I'm going to brag about, but it's the truth. It's weird ass shit. So I have no love for that piece of shit. And that piece of shit, by the way, is known as Vince Florio. I will say that. I can just throw that out there. So I feel better now. Thank you, Glenn.
I doubt that you're going to be running into him anytime soon.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I think the unwanted list at North Texas is pretty short, but I don't think he did any favors with Gary and Mike with the shit that he pulled. I don't think that they'd be like, Vince, come on down. But
well, this was a man who originally started going to North Texas as a reporter.
Of course, because it was free.
Yeah.
I mean, Glenn, you could have certainly played a similar card because, hey, you also did radio. You also have done interviews. You could have played that card. Mm-hmm. Not only have I never attempted to play that card, one year I actually sponsored a room. I know Hobbs sponsored a room. Hobbs could certainly go, hey, I should be a special guest. I've got a podcast and all this stuff, but.
Well, I don't play that card because as far as special guests go and stuff, it'll happen, may not happen, I'll just wait my turn. But someday, I keep coming to the con until I can't anymore, I guess.
Yeah. When I got to be on my little rascal at the convention, that might be the time that you're going to go, geez, Tenkar. We're going to have to give you a little rascal ramp so you can belly up to the bar. It might be time for me not to show.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I love the con. At this point, I don't care. I mean, there may be a time where I couldn't afford to go, but, until then, I love the con. And I'm willing to support the con.
Yeah, I've only
how little I can do, and mostly for, spreading the word.
I've missed North Texas once, and that was the year of COVID.
Yeah.
And honestly, I probably would have still gone if that wasn't also my year of 3 hospitalizations.
Yep. Well, like for me, I'm coming Wednesday, the pre-con this year, and I don't. The only other time I did that was like 4 or 5 years ago when Doug was out or something, and they needed help setting up, and I said I'd come.
Yeah, the pre-con is fun. It really is nice.
But this is, well, I told you why, because I got an early game Thursday, and I don't want to bust my butt trying to get there. It's a 3.5 hour drive, but still.
Right.
I want to be fresh when I start running, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and they're all my buddies and stuff. So
yeah,
I mean,
that's the thing too, right? I mean, you're part of a community at North Texas. If you go out of your way to fuck with members of that community, you're not going to necessarily be embraced with open arms. Now, I do understand that in the case of Vince felt that he was betrayed by the OSR, that the OSR never gave him his
due.
His due. I think he was, in his own from his own perspective, the first savior of the OSR. We have somebody else who claims that they are. Maybe that's why they get along.
I mean, I've still got his Mazes and Perils on the shelf there.
One day, Glenn, we will have to do a recap of Mazes and Perils, because honestly, and this is what I'm going to say about one of the final things I'll say about the lawsuit for tonight. The lawsuit brought 2 people into my life that I probably would not have had a chance to get to know and bond with as closely as I have. And that's Don Samora, Tom Veralt, their respective spouses. There's a bond that never would have happened. Well, if it wasn't for Vince and Mazes and Perils, I probably never would have gotten to know each other as well as we do.
Well, I have things to thank Vince for too, which is why I try to keep, if I'm going to say anything, I try to keep it to a bare minimum, because he did piss me off too. So, but I'm not going to go on a crusade or anything.
No,
it is what it is, because Vince got me into podcasting.
Me too.
He got me into voice acting on like Julie's, dramas, and indirectly getting me on like Save or Die. He got me to the con because I heard about it from my co-hosts, Mike and Liz, and how good it was and everything. And so I went and I was happy, and hey, I can't say anything else, but I'm just going to leave it at that.
Like I said, I mean, the Mazes and Perils, Glenn, you were blessed be the peacemakers, for you shall inherit the earth. Okay?
Well, I did do a lot of art for him, so also I do a lot of art for him.
Yeah, but you literally, I'm gonna put it to you this way, Glenn. Not only did Mazes and Perils bring us into the same picture, and I got to know Glenn, and I thought I got to know Vince, but by the interaction between Vince and myself, I think the reason why there wasn't any involved in that is because my criticism, my observations, and folks, we'll at some point we'll do an episode just on this, but my criticisms and observations on Mazes and Perils and its legacy and history behind it forced Vince to make it better. Forced Vince to do something that was any-worthy. And sadly, and this is just an observation, I think much of his issues is that he got that any and maybe felt he didn't fully deserve it. I don't know. But all he would ever talk about is wanting to get an any for a podcast. That's you remember that as well as I do. Everything was about getting the Emmy for a podcast, and these stupid and some of the podcasts that would win Emmys. By the way,
he would submit everything he had at Wild Games Productions.
Yes.
I mean, Save or Die, Roll for Initiative, Thaco's Hammer, they all got nominated. Basically, he was taking the shotgun approach.
Well, and by the way, that was the approach toward my lawsuit. Throw it all over the wall and see what sticks. Nobody wants that. They want your best.
That's right.
Okay. You don't want the judges to have to search through a bunch of content and try to say, oh, I've just listened to 17 hours of podcasts. I think I found one that I might like. You don't do that. You find the best.
Yeah. I mean, we submitted one of our best episodes on Thaco's Hammer. So, that's all we did. I didn't submit, okay, listen to all these. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How's my gangbuster scenario writing going? It's not. Well, actually, yes, it is. It's needs some polishing because I am repeating a game that I ran about 2-3 years ago. Because basically Bad Mike had to knock me on the head and say, hey, you don't have to write an original one every year. No, seriously. It's like he finally got to me because I'm going, oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? He says, you got like 3 or 4 you ran already. Why don't you run it again? You're going to get different people. People run stuff, repeat stuff all the time at the con. I said, oh, okay, I'll pick out what I think was the best one I did. And I just, now I'm basically polishing the turd. I mean, polishing the game. And, well, see, I wrote it for Gangbusters, the regular Gangbusters.
Oh, the original.
The original Gangbusters. And so I got to convert it over to BX, which is going to be real easy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the original was percentile, and BX is basically BX.
Right. Well, we think in BX, right? I mean, like
I do.
I mean,
I think in BX. I think in 1E
type of deal. Yeah.
I think in BECME. It's all the same to me. I mean, 1E and 2E are a little bit more fiddly, but it's the same principle. Also, but while I'm thinking about it, one of the things I think Vince was pissed about is the fact he put out Mazes in Peril, and the guy who basically laid it out and did it for him, the first issue, looked at it and went, oh, this is a Holmes clone. I can do a Holmes clone too. And he came out with his, and his was way more popular. I can't remember the name, but I remember I've got a copy over here.
But here's the thing. All right, so I'd have to go back to my notes, but I believe, if I recall correctly,
it's a Holmes clone. Sorry, not a BX clone. Holmes clone.
Well, I believe, if I'm remembering my own, this is going back, folks, way further than we're gonna do the Wayne's World. I believe it was Home 77, which was a clone that was being passed around that Vince found. He liked it. And I believe what I was told, I think by Vince, is that he reached out to the author and said, hey, no, we could relay this out and it could be good. And the guy's like, yeah, whatever. I did that like a year ago. I'm no longer interested in it. So Vince was like, well, do you mind if I publish it? Do whatever you want with it, whatever. But Vince never credited the original author. Now, even if somebody says, take it, do whatever you want, and you're releasing the OJ, there still has to be credit to the original author. And out of politeness, if you're not... There wasn't even words being changed. Like, it was it wasn't a clone of Home 77, and I believe that's the title of the original that we're looking at. But I believe it was quite simply a copy paste of this guy's work, and I was going through. I was posting like on a blog. Here's this paragraph. Here's this paragraph. Exactly the same. Um, and folks, listen. If you follow this channel, this YouTube channel, if you followed the blog over the years, listen. I don't like to see my community get scammed or get lied to. Realistically, what was going on here? Yeah, all right. So the author said, "Do what you want with it." Give them credit, and then I would have had nothing. There would have been nothing. But then again, if that had been true, then like I said, Glenn and I probably never would have gotten to meet. And by meeting Glenn, my life has been enriched. I owe stuff to Vince. Don't get me wrong. I owe Vince getting me into podcasting. Certainly,
I do too. But that doesn't mean he's on a pedestal.
No, he's a piece of shit.
I mean, I'll always thank him for getting me involved in this, but
yeah.
But then I got to think, I've been role playing since 1981, so this is just coming back to it, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's would I have gotten into it? Probably with the anchor, people like Jason Hobbs showing, Jason was the one that went to Anchor and literally opened up the doors. Like Anchor was to podcasting what Blogger was to blogging.
Exactly.
And Jason came out and literally just kicked the doors open. We should bring Jason on one time to talk about that, because Jason was a trendsetter, and not intentionally. And Jason did something that, I mean, we think about like blogging was supposed to be about like, you talk about some personal stuff and some hobby stuff. And for us, it was all hobby stuff. But Jason came out, and then when he was doing his Anchor cast, it was gaming and personal stuff. And you really see what Hobbs had to offer. And that gave me the confidence to say, hey, I could do an Anchor cast too. And then I still remember Joe the lawyer reaching out to me. He goes, like, how's this Anchor thing work? And I go, dude, if I can fucking do it, anybody can do it. It's if I could figure out the software, it's trust me, it's easy. So I huge thank you to Hobbs for,
and the mighty Hobbs here. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
By the way, Bad Mike thinks we have the Vince Pylon show here. I guess maybe we do. I don't know.
Yeah, no. Listen, if we were going to do a Vince Pylon show, we'd literally come back with the whole amazing
more people on.
Oh well, yeah, we'd have at least as many subscribers. All right, we're not going to go there. Come on. This live stream probably we have more people watching this live stream right now than Vince probably has in his last video.
Right.
So I mean, and honestly, that's a shame, because he was
doing good.
He was doing good. I used to listen to Roll for Initiative and really enjoy it. So
I love my time on Save or Die with him. It was fun.
Yeah. The Brainstorm podcast, which I don't think we can even find it online anymore. I think
that was a mistake.
Yeah. It fell into the same routine of I did other podcasts with Vince where it's like, oh, we're doing this on a weekly basis. Hey, we didn't do it the last 2 weeks. Oh no, I brought in a woman whose name I didn't know for the Old School Blues. I brought in a woman. I go, yeah. Well, we need to change it up, because everything, by the way, was about getting the Emmy, getting the recognition, and if the podcast wasn't getting the traffic, it was shit canned. Like the one with Dirk Stanley, Faraway Lands. I think it lasted 3 episodes. and it wasn't getting enough of a listen, and didn't know it was canceled until
hey, you better let Bad Mike on. He says he's got a story.
Oh, okay, Bad Mike. Hold on.
Well, yeah, he will shit can show. I mean, I think that Thaco's Hammer just survived through gumption because he wanted to kill it in like episode 10. And all of us, me, Brian, and Corey's, no. I mean, I'm like I said, I'm just a peacekeeper in that because I still, I was kind of torn. I mean, people were getting PO'd on Thaco's Hammer, but at the same time, Vince, I was trying to Brian was getting real upset with him, and it's like, I'm trying to keep everybody, so we can keep the show going. But like over 150 episodes later, we're still going, sort of, if we can ever get into one place at one time. We're having a little trouble these days, but people probably know that anyway. Anyway, here comes the Bad Mike. Here comes the Bad Mike.
The Bad Mike.
The Bad Mike.
Can you hear me now?
Tommy, can you hear me?
Michael, can you hear
me? I can hear you guys. I just want to tell a quick story because
you go ahead.
As much as I think that Vince is kind of a piece of garbage now, I wouldn't have met Glenn because Glenn, when they did Thaco's Hammer, the first one, I listened to it and I said, man, this guy doesn't like 2E because I'm thinking about Vince. And so I sent him a message and I said, look, you shouldn't be doing this if you don't like it. And I don't think you like it. And he sent me a message back and said, you're right. I don't like doing it. Would you like to do it? I'm like, okay. I've never done podcast or anything. He said, just go get yourself a headset, blah, blah. And then meet Glenn and Brian, and you guys just do it. And so what I did about 10 shows, right? I mean, I can't remember about 10 weeks, about 2 or 3 weeks. And then the convention came.
Yeah, and you were having equipment problems and.
Yeah, I had equipment issues even back then. Sorry, in case you guys are shocked by that. And then I had other things in my life, but it was fun, man. I had a blast doing it with you guys, and I will give him credit that he realized he didn't want to do the show because he didn't like 2E, and so he just said, "Yeah, here you go. If you want to do it,
He kept telling me, I want your own show. I want you to do your own show. I want you to do your own show. And it's like, well, you already got like Save or Die for basic. You already got a 1E show. I guess I'm a 2E show, huh? Yeah.
I mean, so
are you gonna come on and help? He says no.
I got some kudos for Eric because I think one of the problems with him was that all his shows ended up kind of sounding the same. And I don't think he ever figured a way out of that. But I think what Eric does is good because Eric and I do our thing. And then he comes on Friday and he does something with you, Glenn, which is not like Eric and my thing, or he does the random party generator, which is not like any of the other things. So I think, and then of course the Saturday show is completely different too. You've got to do that. You can't just keep doing OSR first edition shows. We're going to do a show. I mean, because you just end up trampling the same ground over and over and over again. And, after a while, your audience gets bored. And I think what Eric does, like I said, I'll give Eric a pat on the back here. I think he does great because he does different things. Every show does things a little differently. And we kind of cross pollinate,
right.
Joe will jump on our show. I jump on your guys' show. I mean, Glenn, you're welcome to jump on our show whenever you want to, if you want to. And we kind of jump back and forth. And I think it works really well. It's more like we're a whole family just doing different things in different rooms of the house. And I think one of the problems with Vince was it was the same family doing the same thing in every room, which is why I liked Thaco's Hammer because you guys, and I tell you what, I loved Save or Die because I thought they were doing something completely different. Fun. And their ratings were really good. And they did really, really well the 5 or 6 years they did that show because I think they were doing stuff. You guys were doing stuff on Save or Die that was totally different than everything else. And, I don't want to speculate, but I think Vince might have been a little jealous of your success there because everybody was always talking Save or Die. Because you and them and when you got Jim in there, it was a great show. I thought you guys did a great job of the show.
And Full On and all them. You may be right. about the jealousy thing, although I didn't encourage it. Because like, I always thought it was weird. I didn't really get maybe a little perturbed, but I always thought it was weird that on Roll for Initiative, his main show, everybody on Thaco's Hammer, and I think even Save or Die, were on his show as guests at one time or another, except me. And I never understood that.
Uh-huh.
You know, so, you know.
Well, my brief time on there, I wasn't either. I was only on your show for whatever, 8 or 10 episodes, but
but you were welcome back when you
know. It was but I just had too many things going on. Like you said, I had equipment issues. Plus, I could not commit. That's the one thing I'm really happy, being older now and things have changed so much in the last, 10 years. Uh-huh. Eric and I have been able to do our show every single week for the last almost 3 years. Yeah. I don't think we've ever canceled. We might have canceled once. I can't remember, but I've been really proud of that because that was my big problem before about ever thinking about doing a podcast or a show was that I just couldn't guarantee my time. Well, when you get older, your time opens up for you, doesn't it? You have lots of extra time to do stuff. And I think that's really good. And I think that's really important for shows too, is to have the same time and the same day every week. And that's the same thing with Doug and I used to always talk, Doug Ray and I used to talk about conventions. We do local conventions and they would change their month and change this and that. And we're saying, no, you have to pick the same week every year. And that's how you build a convention. And we've been going
every convention I've been to, they do that.
Yeah. The successful ones, but we have one in Texas that lasts about 4 or 5 years. And unfortunately they change their venue every year. And they changed the time of year every year. So nobody ever got a handle what they were doing. And I think the same thing for podcasts. You have to do it the same night every week, and you have to do it every week. Don't miss weeks. Don't skip weeks. Don't change your format. God, no. Right. People, when you change your format, it rarely ever, even if it gives you a small boost at first, it just rarely ever helps you out. And the funniest thing is, that these radio shows, they always laugh because they have consultants that come in and, our ratings aren't good. What can we do? And so the consultants come in and the joke about consultants is they're like pigeons. They fly in, they shit all over everything and they fly off. And I see it because I'll be listening to a station I like and I like it. Then all of a sudden they have a format change and you're like, God, I fucking hate this. This is just, I can't stand their new format. And so then you turn it off and then I don't listen to their station anymore. And then 6 months later, they're back to the old thing or they're doing something else. It just doesn't, most format changes just don't work out, at least in my experience. Just stay with what works.
If you're going to start something you want different, just start a new podcast.
Yeah.
Now Spotify for podcasters, they just changed the rules where you can have more than one podcast.
Oh, that's cool.
It used to be one customer, one podcast. So we're thinking of moving Thaco's Hammer over to there if we can ever get together.
Yeah, you should. Well, is it Brian's a problem, right? Brian's always busy, it seems like.
He has like 3-4 jobs.
Yeah, he works
me
a
and
lot.
Full On, it's always like, Full On's on the road all the time, but he can do it from his truck. Me, I got play time, and something's always like he has to work, or Full On has to teach motorcycle maintenance, or the wife's yanking me away, or something like that. So
if you ever want me to make a return after 10 years and pop on a show, I'm your Huckleberry. I'll jump on to Thaco's Hammer, and I'll pretend like I never left too.
Good. I have no problem with that. Brian is like, I'm the main host, but Brian to me is like the den mother.
I think so. Yeah.
And
definitely.
He keeps it. I mean, guy with 4 jobs, a kid, and this, he really keeps it going.
He works his ass off. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
you have to like what you're doing too. You guys, I can tell when I listen to it. I haven't listened to your show in a couple of years, but what I liked about it was you guys have a real passion for what you do. That's another thing you can't fake is passion for your, and I think that helps Eric and I. We definitely have, when we get on Wednesday night, we're fired up sometimes, aren't we, Eric? We're like, man, let's go.
We have the brainstorm segment on Thaco's Hammer, and we try, we what did like 3 episodes as brainstorm, and it folded the brainstorm section on Take Goes Hammer did better than the actual podcast.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I could see that, man.
What can I say? We're good. We're good.
Well,
good, man.
And like I tell you, I like Save for Half with I like Save or Half too. It's a different show than Save or Die was, but I think it plays to Mike and Liz's and Jim's strengths a lot. And I was just on there a few weeks ago to do a North Texas preview. It's funny because so Eric and I we're well known for we have zero prep. We have zero. We don't care, but we don't. Don't give.
You don't have the corner on zero prep.
Yes. Mike. I'll be honest with you. We do have. It isn't zero prep. We have T minus 10 minutes prep. In other words, when we log in, we got 10 minutes of prep before the show. Glenn and I before the show are pretty much. So Glenn, how you doing? Oh wow, your house. That's your new. We don't even. We're just.
Yeah.
We know. By the way, and folks, this is a compliment to all of you. We know the live community will take us off on our little hex crawl in random directions. It'll be beautiful. We trust you all.
Oh yeah.
Well, and I was going to say that, but just to compare it to Mike and Liz, because you get on their show and all this prep, and I'm like. I'm not used to this. And they're like, okay, and when turn your phones off. I'm like, wait, turn your phones off? Eric is like, huh?
What happens if
we're ringing all the time.
Like, needs to call me.
Yeah. Save or Die was the same way. It used to try. Mike had to prep it until the cows come home. And
I know, then, and I'm just like,
we're going to review this. Have you read it? Not really. And then when Vince was on, be on the show regular, he told me later, he says, I just read the synopsis. Well, why aren't they getting on your case then?
Oh man.
Oh,
so but I'm just saying people can come to the same conclusion from different directions. And like I said, some people prepare a lot, some don't. But like I said, what matters is your passion. If you're passionate about your subject, preparation or no, you're going to have a good show. You can prep all you want. If you're not passionate, it's going to be a crappy show anyway because there's not going to be any.
You want passion. You saw this Triple D last episode where we have the Emperor's Choice people on.
Yes.
My God, talk about passion.
I thought Triple D
us.
Those guys are awesome, and they need to come to North Texas. They really, I'd love to get them in North Texas.
Yeah,
they really need to come. I always tell people the thing about North Texas is so many people are reluctant to come to it because it's only 500 people, and you sold out this that. But Glenn and Eric can tell you this: when you get there, you always want to come back. And that once I can get people to the con and show them what goes on there. They rave about it, and they're like, I can't believe we didn't come. And I those Emperor Choice guys, I guarantee you, one time at the con, they'd be like, we're never not going to come. This place
I can't believe I actually got people to come by hyping it. I couldn't sell a heater to Eskimos, but I get these people to come. Remember those two guys from Ireland?
Yeah, that was great. I remember those guys.
Yeah, 2 times. They said, we heard about it on Save or Die. We had to go. It's like
we had the Russian guy who heard about it in Save or Die came from Russia. I mean, he didn't know squat. Now he did have family in Dallas, so that was a plus. But he walks up to my table and I'm whatever from Russia. I'm like, he goes, I heard about your show on Save or Die. I'm like, what? And so he just jumped on a plane. He kind of made plans. He was like, well, while I'm there, I'll visit my family too. But he flew from the Irish guys. They came from Ireland.
He said that was their first American con.
Wow, this guy. He just came right. But and what's funny is I didn't hear from him. He never came back. Didn't hear from him for a few years. But he was like my Facebook friend. Mm-hmm. And I saw some good news a few months ago. He got out of Russia before he was enlisted in the army. He said they're just grabbing everybody. He said they'll grab you off the street and you're in the army. He said it's bad. And so he got his whole family out and they're living in Dallas now. So I need to contact him again, see if he wants to come back to con.
Yeah.
I was very happy. I was very happy he got out because I've heard that kind of things happening. He said, "Oh yeah, they're just grabbing. You go out to get like food at like the grocery store, and you don't come back, and your wife's like, where are they? Oh, they enlisted in the army. What? That doesn't sound like that doesn't sound like Raskolnikov. Why would he enlist in the army? Oh yeah, he wanted to enlist in the army. He went down to and what would happen was they just get yanked off the street, and they get him. They get put in these death brigades where they just throw bodies at the front line. They all get blown up and killed. That's what they're doing with the prisoners too. They're giving them. Here's an old gun. Here's a bullet. Go rush this hill over here.
Yeah.
Don't waste it. Don't spend it all in one place.
And so, I was very happy to hear he got out. But that's the reach of these shows. That's how these shows could do good. I know over the years, Talking Crit and this have gotten so many people to the con because people have told me. Oh, I heard because when you sign up for the North Texas site, there's 2 questions on there. One's where'd you hear about it? And one, what's your favorite old school game? And a lot of people on there when they put where they heard about, they put Talking Crit or on Eric's show or Old Man Grognard. Although they'll put on there one of these shows or Save for Half.
Yeah.
So I know this works. I know people.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I mean, and you're making capacity every year.
Well, yeah, we sold out this year before April 15th. That's nuts, Glenn. We've never sold out before the con. We sold out at the con. We've never had a sell out before the con, and certainly not one in April. That's nuts.
Well, you're still going to have.
Which, by the way, if somebody's listening. Yeah, somebody's listening and wants to come. We will sell walk-ups because we've already had people cancel. Matter of fact, Gary opened up a bunch of game slots today because he finally got around to people who canceled. He canceled their games, and so there was about half a dozen of them. So a lot of game slots opened up, guys. If you want to go check out stuff, and
I'll have to peek.
But that'll happen all the way up till the next 4 weeks. We'll have people cancel because things happen and people can't come. So yeah, we'll have seats available. We'll have games available. We have more games than we've ever had, guys. I don't know if you've seen how many games we have. Good Lord, we got so many games.
I was like, holy shit.
Gary was worried. He's like, I don't know if we have enough tables for all the games. I said, well, look at it this way. Some people might not show up, and if they do, their games will be canceled. I think it'll work out because he's worried we don't have any open gaming areas. We've had to deliver every single table, our game to every single table in there. So we're going to be a little worried about the open gaming. We really don't have open gaming.
As long as you have the board there, so Eric can put in his Penosaurus game.
We'll run the Penosaurus game in the room. Don't worry about it.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hijack you guys.
No, it's all right. It's fine.
We can beat up that. If you want to beat up Vince some more, let's go back and beat up Vince.
No. That's low hanging fruit right there. So
yeah, that's true.
We can find some other people to beat up.
I could tell you some stuff too, but I won't because I don't like kicking a guy when he's down because I have some stories I guess I just won't tell. But yeah, he never impressed me because he wanted to help with North Texas, and which we appreciate, Doug and I, but his help was he wanted to come in and change everything. And if you knew Doug, that was a non-starter with Doug. Because he sent us about a dozen suggestions, and Doug said no. Every one of them, like, that's not going to happen. And he's like, well, let me talk to Doug. I said, it's not going to change. This is how Doug is. He wants the convention this way, and I don't even remember what the suggestions were, but Doug was like, I don't want any of that. And so I think Vince never really warmed up to the convention. He didn't give us very many props online. He didn't really talk about the con.
Well, for a guy who wants to get on as a reporter,
Yeah, that was the thing I wasn't going to bring up. But yes, he tried to hit us up for a press pass every year. And I'm like, smaller cons really don't give press passes because honestly, we need every cent we can get. I mean, every cent that comes in, we're not like a big con that can afford to give basically free admission. We did do it for Vince. We did it for Vince, though. We gave him a press pass, I think every year but the last year, because he would usually do a podcast. We said, well, as long as you do a podcast from the show, we'll consider it. But, that's not something we do, and so anyway, but it worked, whatever. It's all past and we've all moved on. So
yeah, pretty much. It's probably
we're going to have we're gonna have fun in 4 or 5 weeks. We're gonna have a blast. It's gonna be great.
It'll probably be my penultimate con.
Whoa, hold on. What's going on here?
Well,
penultimate means next year would be your last one. So what's going on?
Because we're running out of money. Becky's retiring, and I don't know what's going to happen beyond 2025. I want to go 2025 because Gage will be 21, and so I can get him drunk. I mean, I can, Oh,
we'll all get him drunk. Oh yeah, that'll be beautiful. Yeah. Well, let me talk to you about some solutions because what the hell? We'll just do it right here on the show. I've already talked to Gary about this anyway. So the last couple of years we've had Jason Hobbs, in the show, and he's kind of under the what they call podcaster thing. And we decided, Gary and I decided, every year we're going to have a podcaster or somebody that does a streaming show, because most cons do tons of streamers. I don't like that because a lot of streamers don't create content. They really don't. They're just streaming. But there's some streamers that have done it long enough and are popular enough, like Jason. He's just got an amazing show. But so next year, Glenn, I really want you to be our podcaster guest. If you think about it, if you want to think about that.
Thank you.
I would.
I'm doing it anyway.
I already talked about it
right here.
I already talked about it with Gary, and he's all on board because every year we're probably going to have a designated podcaster guest and or streamer guest. And I said, you know what? It's time for Glenn to get some props because Glenn's been doing this a long time. He's really good at it. Let's have him as our guest next year for that. It helps with my. So you're gonna kick Hobbs out of the position next year because
you'll have to email me or whatever. Tell me what that entails.
Yeah, that'll be 20.
I'm already doing it with this character right here.
It just means that you're gonna we'll get you a free room there if nothing else. So if you can. If you can make your way there, we'll get you a free room, and maybe that'll help out because I don't want to see you stop.
I love it.
Doing podcast.
Could it be a 3-way with Eric?
Oh,
God. Ooh, that was a close one. That was
a 3-way duel. I gotta be a little more specific.
So yeah, we'll work out a way to get there because we need you there, Glenn. We need the old school guys there. I'm just talking to Gary today about because we lost yesterday. We lost Easley as a guest because of his knees, and then the same day Dennis Cesare can't come because his wife. Yep. He said that
no more painting with the house paint.
No, he's going to he's going to send us a painting. But he said, you know what, my knees are just so bad. I just don't even know if I can, because he was at GaryCon this year and he was kind of in, I wouldn't say poor health, but you could tell he's just, these guys are getting old, man. The guys that we grew up with, I know they're only 5, 6, 10 years older than us, but that's still exponentially older. And so a lot of them, I've been telling people, if you can go to a con like ours, or like GaryCon or Gamehole Con, you need to get to that con the next few years and see these guys because they are. Look at Jim Ward. Jim Ward's not around anymore, and you've got to see these guys while you still can because so many of them are not going to get back down to Texas. They'll go to GaryCon and they'll go to Gamehole Con because they just drive down the street. It's only like an hour away or 15 minutes away, but Texas means you have to get on a plane and you have to fly down and this, that, and these guys are getting too old. They just don't want to do it. So
I hear you.
I'm very happy to bring these guys to Texas. Gary and I have been bringing these guys to Texas, and I'm very, Doug and I were happy to do it. But the time is going to come when these older guys just can't make the trip. That's the same with that's the thing with Tim Kask. Tim Kask is not flying anymore. And then Jim Ward, of course, he had to give up our con a few years ago because it was diabetes and he lost his leg, and so please come to these cons. I'm not just plugging our con, I'm plugging all cons because you want to see guys. You want to see guys like Glenn too. You want to see Glenn. You want to see Eric. Yeah. You might want to see me. I don't know if you want to.
I'm looking forward to Luau Lou's brunch.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be the podcaster brunch. Is gonna be great.
It's not a brunch. It's fucking like 7:00 in the morning. It's way too fucking early.
All right, Brad.
Well, wait. I don't know if I'll get up that early, so maybe I won't join it. But the times I've went, it's a blast, man. because people get up that early and they're pissed. They're all pissed because they're up that early. They're drinking coffee and they have opinions, man. They have hardcore opinions because they're not messing. They're not happy. They're not happy to be up that early, and so they're just letting fly their opinions. So that the Luau Lou's podcast.
Who the hell signed me up for an 8 o'clock game?
Oh my gosh, it's great. One year I went there because it was super early. I want to say it was like 7. It was, and I think it was at the Marriott. I don't think it was even here at the Westin. And man, people were salty that day because they were not happy to be up that early. They were giving some hardcore opinions of stuff, and I'm like, and Doug and I were both saying, "Man, that worked really good. That was a really good time to have a podcaster seminar because everybody was pissed, you know."
Oh yeah,
and they were half awake and they were growling and they were.
Not to mention the midnight auction. You always got to go to the midnight auction. Except for me, I only went once.
Yeah, I know. You had to go to bed. I know.
Oh no, it's just. Do you still have to get like tickets and stuff for it?
We
do have tickets now. No, we do have tickets because what we do is we sell the first 2 rows to make money for the con. So the first 2 rows, or as I like to call it, the splash zone. We sell the splash zone tickets.
I don't want to think what you're doing to have a splash zone. You're not.
I don't want
Gallagher.
I don't understand people that want to spend $50 for a ticket in something called the splash zone at an Endeavor where I'm wearing devil horns and my brother is barely wearing any clothing at all except for a Speedo. Why would you want to be in the splash zone for something like that? I have no clue.
That's true.
But people fill up those seats every year, so you know.
Wow. Yeah,
whatever.
And, don't you have to buy a paddle or something like that too?
Yeah, that comes with the seat. I believe you get a number, and you can bid on the crappy stuff we have, the crappy items we have, which includes selling souls. Eric, have we sold your soul yet or not? Do you remember? Yeah, okay, we've already sold your soul.
You also sold my leftover bag one year. Which
I wonder who bought your soul. I would be curious about who owns your soul now. I don't remember who does. So
I don't. You know, something tells me it was a lawyer.
Well, I know that. No, maybe. Well, I know Mark Greenberg one year just told me he was going to get every other lawyer's soul. So he has Matt Finch's soul, Alex Kamer's soul, and Ty Beard's soul. Because he said he wanted every other lawyer's soul. He doesn't have Steve Marsh's soul.
Yeah, I was going to say, but Steve Marsh's.
I wouldn't sell Steve's soul. Steve would never do business with the devil. Steve's never sold his soul to the devil. Okay. But these other characters, definitely have.
Anyway, good times to be had, folks, this year and next, and every year for now in the first week of June. Remember, it's always a week.
And that was an absolute that was a derailment of your show times 10. I'm so happy to derail your show.
I mentioned in the beginning. I'll mention it again. It's on the bottom of the screen the whole time.
If you can't remember when it is, it's the weekend after Memorial Day. It's always the weekend after Memorial Day.
Oh, okay. Eric, I forgot. Oh, Eric's advertising page, which I'm going to try to get to one of these years. And Ron has been pushing me to come this year. But man, I don't know. It's very weather related with me. It's very because I'm not close like you guys. It's very much going to be weather related. If it's a major snowstorm, I'm not going to.
I'm just going to throw this out there, Mike. If you decide to come, I do believe Rachel and I got a suite, so I think we got the extra.
Well, then where are you going to sleep then, Eric?
No, shut up. Shut up, bum. So, folks, page is in January. This is the second page, Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo.
Yes.
It is January 16th through the 19th. If you use the code Tenkar's Tavern, you save $10. I'm a special guest.
That's good.
I tell you, listen, another con making me a special guest. You better watch out.
And Zach is a special guest. Zach Glazer. He has a lot of old school guys. I saw Dale Donovan was there. Frank Mentzer's there. He's got a pretty good guest list for a second year con.
And by the way, for Open Gaming for North Texas, if I'm not exhausted with the Gangbusters game, I think Jason's going to talk me into running a Mutant Future game.
Okay, I'm interested.
This weekend, I think it's going to be all GMing this year. I haven't selected a game to play in.
Well, don't overbook because you'll get tired if you overbook.
No, I've got a grandson to do that for. How much? How many games you get? 11. 11. Holy! Are you going to stop to eat?
He's got energy, man. He's young and has lots of energy.
Yeah. So. Well, he'll be there next year. He won't be here this year. So I had.
He's not coming this year.
I had Gary roll his badge over, which means that's less for me to pay. Anyway, I think we ought to wrap up.
I think we're going to hit the witching hour. Yeah, all right, folks. Well,
hit the pricks.
Thank you to Mike for jumping in. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it.
Thanks for the free plug of my convention. I'm glad I could come on and derail your show and talk about North Texas. That's awesome.
You can always derail me, Mike. Oh, wait.
Well, your subject matter was so boring before. I wanted to get out of that. That's just a mess. I didn't want to talk about that anymore.
They're talking about that Florio guy.
Yeah,
that's evil
guy. I
didn't want
to talk about it anymore. I didn't want to talk about it.
Anyway.
Folks, live stream tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Myself, my wife Rach, Gamers Health. I did that Guardian article that I didn't read yet that I might read, that I might talk about before then. We'll see. Other than that, be safe, be well. God bless. Roll the dice, roll them.
And soon, I hope, Radio Grognard will be back. Soon.
All right. Yes, finally.
Well, last 2 weeks have been the move has been real stressful.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So good night, folks.
Laters.